Happy Shark Typhoon Monday, Spikelings. I am the host of the Typhoon, and the best way to start your day is the best way to start your day and Streamberg Extraordinaire Aspiring Spike. I see. To get your week off to the right foot, we're going to play some 4-color Time Warp Control in Modern. How do extra turns help us win? I'll figure something out. I'm just that good, so watch and enjoy the gameplay while you sub, like, gift bits, comment, follow, send presents, be a box, grab some merch, make a story. Let's go. Okay. Okay, so Yorion is still banned in Modern. I woke up, it's still banned, or I've been working on this deck for a little bit, trying to tune it, and I just feel I don't really enjoy playing the 4-color Omnath archetype very much. However, I just am a little bit too antsy to sit on the sidelines while other people hammer out the archetype, hammer out the deck list, while I just don't work on it. I really want to work on it. I want to find a good version of the deck, get some reps with it. Still a very, very powerful archetype. There are a lot of ways you can build the deck. I would talk about the different versions. You can play Traverse, Bauble, Emrakul. You can be more in on Elementals with Prison Reef. You can be more in on Ephemerate. And this version is, at the very least, like the shell of a more blue-white based controlling variant. This is basically blue-white control, splashing for Wrenn and Six, Expressive Iteration, and Omnath, which are all, of course, very good cards. I'm also choosing, in this kind of like base, the way I'm thinking of it, in this base shell, you could be in on Time Warp, or you can be in on Teferi, Hero of Dominaria instead, as kind of like your top end. But Time Warp is just like insanely good with Wrenn and Six and Omnath. Wrenn and Six Time Warp is a infinite turn combo that you can play to the late game if you play a lot of them. There's going to be games where you have a Wrenn and Six in play at like 4 or 5 loyalty, and you just go like Omnath Time Warp, and then you just get so ahead that you're going to be able to ultimate the Wrenn and Six and take infinite turns. Similarly, Jace plays really well with the Time Warp plan. I think Jace is a little underplayed in Modern in general. It's a card I've been liking a bit more lately. And yeah, so just to conceptualize it a little bit further. There's a lot of ways to build the archetype. And if you're going to be wanting to build this more controlling version of 4-color, which I think is very open right now and has a lot of potential, I would actually view this to be like the base. I feel like right now it's you could probably play around with the removal spells a little bit, but for the most part, if you're going to build like a blue-white base, more controlling version of the 4-color deck, this is your base. I think 22 lands, 4 Wrenn, 4 Duration, 4 Counterspell, 4 Ending, 4 Binding, 4 Solitude, 3 Teferi, 3 Omnath. You could play 4th Teferi, 4th Omnath also, but I would say that this is the base. Then you have like 8 flex spots, and you can play like Verdicts and Force of Negation. They're your flex spots. You have a lot of different ways to go. So just like if you're going to be working on the archetype yourself, I think that's a pretty important thing to separate and show off there. Tejo up to 5 months, spin it to the 2021. Let's go. Why Relic instead of Endurance? Dredge is like so popular, I keep losing to it. I also like sat down on my RCQ this weekend. I just got so stomped by Dredge, so stomped. Even though like I had a pretty good fast like Urza Saga, Shadow Spear hand game 1, it didn't matter. I had Soul Guide Lantern, Shadow Spear hand game 2, didn't matter. I just got like, they just had like 4 3/3s in play by turn 2. It's rough. Okay, let's keep this. Accent with the 4 months, thank you. Wrinkle, I think I got your 7. Bjorn with the 4, thank you. Do you think it's better than the Emrakul version? I do actually. I do think it's better than the Emrakul version. I dislike the. I dislike that the Emrakul versions, at least the ones I've seen, just don't really play Counterspell, and they're kind of like lacking. What's the word? Like the Emrakul versions are just kind of like really good in the grindy matchups, and they kind of like that interaction against the more linear decks. Obviously, they're good against the more creature-based linear decks, less good against the non-creature linear decks, and so getting access to Force of Negation, Counterspell, really big game here. But obviously, it's kind of same archetype, Spoos, 8 months, thank you. How to League finish off stream with a 3-2, unfortunately. Okay, opponent takes Dress down here. We're definitely with that draw, gonna just play the Zagoth Triome, probably up against Scam. And so It could be important to prioritize getting a basic plains. Let's go to Omnath. It's close though. Could be important to prioritize getting a basic plains because of Blood Moon, although my opponent did not fetch a basic swamp. So I think that I think that this turn I'm just gonna go Steam Vents, get the Wrenn and Six going, and then if my opponent has Blood Moon next turn, good beats, and if they don't, then we can start getting basics. Which version of 5-color I think is better? Elementals, Traverse, Control, or any other? I really think the controlling versions are the ones I'm gravitating towards at the moment, but obviously it's just too early to tell. This is Grixis Shadow. I just noticed the Giganta. Okay, obviously, too early to tell, but like Blue-White Control as a deck is a deck I think is amazing right now. The Days Undoing Narset version is by far the most common, but you could really build that deck in a any way you want to. Okay, they shocked in Steam Vents. They're gonna have Drown in the Lock up here. I do think I could just get my plains and hold up Binding, pick up my land. Not that I need to play around Blood Moon anymore, but I am interested in holding up Binding so I can remove something on tap slam Jace. And so like this is the way I'm thinking of this deck. This is basically Blue-White Control, sacrificing consistencies in the mana base for more powerful cards. So Blue-White Control. Ooh, okay, so we're gonna lose our Jace. Yeah, so if they thought he's the Jace, I think I'd probably rather ending the Shredder and still hold the Binding. Yes, sir. Blue-White Control, sacrificing consistency in the mana base for more powerful cards, Wrenn and Six, Omnath, Expressive Iteration, or the splashed cards here. Which I think is like a totally interesting and valid way to build the archetype. I'm probably okay to just plus and then have a bit more freedom on how I use the Switch land. Toaster, 8 months, thank you. Are there any lists besides Battle of Wits that could get away with playing 80 cards and just be fine without Yorion? Not 80. So that's the thing is like people keep saying just play 80 cards anyways. Don't play 80. Play like 75. play less than 80, more than 60 if you feel like Bring to Light Scape Shift is probably a great example of a deck that's mana based really wants to be more than a 60 card deck and has a lot of tutors. But you probably want to be between like 64, 68, 69, 70, not all the way up to 80. I think it's gonna be very rare to play that many cards in a deck like Bring to Light Scape Shift. But also like Scape Shift is like, probably better as like the teamer version anyways. It's gonna be pretty uncommon. At 29 months, thank you. Is there any draw to 4-color without Time Warp? Yeah, the Time Warps are like, they're certainly flex spots. I think that they're very interesting, and I think they play really well with the cards you're splashing for already. But you don't have to play them. You can play Teferi Hero instead, and just be like even more of like a pure control list, Okay, so I'm probably gonna leave the Jeskai Triumph in the deck to cycle. Just get the Hallowed Fountain here. Time Warp would have been really sick here. Do I consider myself the MTG #1 top builder these days? I don't consider myself anything, dude. I'm just out here, I just build decks, I put them out to the universe. I would never go around describing myself in that way or anyway. You guys can form your own opinions. 3 mana. Giganta. Yeah, all I do is watch the Queen's Gambit and build decks. So all we have right now is a Prismatic Ending in the yard, but obviously this emblem is representing a lot of value. My opponent is very likely to have Drown in the Lock, so I'm probably not going to play the Wrenn and Six here. The way that they played earlier really signified Drown in the Lock. Thank you, Kihiro. Black, red, blue, green, white. So we can Prismatic Ending Giganta. Roper, 20 months, thank you. The turns where you Teferi off Omnath are able to hold a Counterspell absurd. Unfortunately, Teferi is meant to hold heat. Yeah, exactly. And also the turns where you Omnath into Time Warp are like maybe even more absurd, you know. Spike is one of the Magic players of all time. Many people are saying this, actually. I've actually been hearing more and more people saying I'm one of the Magic players of all time. Do you play chess or mainly a spectator? I mean, neither, really. So, like, the whole Queen's Gambit thing, I was watching the Queen's Gambit, and I like to kind of talk about shows I watch on stream, but I just kept bringing it up because I really thought that Magic players would enjoy it, because there's a lot of, like, I think there's a lot of things to relate to for any Magic player who watches the Queen's Gambit, and they have another Croxa here. I'm gonna discard Ending since these lands are better than Ending here. But I just brought it up so much, it kind of became a bit of a meme, and so that's my channel description is now I'm best known for watching the Queen's Gambit from start to finish. Might play one of these lands out at this point. Seems okay. And it's 3 Prismatic Endings. 3 Prismatic Endings that I take damage to if I discard the Croxa. Opponent's hand is Giganta, 3 mystery cards. Okay, there's a good Prismatic Ending target. Okay, so if I play this Teferi, I think it's like definitely getting drowned here. Maybe they'll drown the Ending. It's probably best to play it out anyways, though, since if I hold it, I'm turning on discard spells for them. Oh, awesome. Maybe they'll just drown again. Because I'd, you know, obviously, rather than drown this, than Teferi. I could play around Spell Pierce. I think I'm going to choose not to. Sure. So his hand is just Giganta. Okay, dead Wrenn and Six into Croxa is pretty good. I go down to 8, then I can Prismatic Ending the Croxa. And we're both top decking, and my top decks are way better than my opponents on average, and I have a Rimblem in play. Colin, thank you for the 3 months. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the new season of What We Do in the Shadows.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
Have I been a fan of Narset Days and Doing Package? Yes. I think I'm ending this. They're at 4. Yeah, it's definitely been better than I have. It's been performing better than I feel like it has in the past. I will say that the banning of Yorion was probably really bad for the Narset Days and Doing package, because I think to some extent, to a large extent, the inclusion of the package in the first place was a way for blue-white players to have a better matchup against. Was a way for blue-white players to have a better matchup against 4-color Yorion. Now that Yorion's banned, this deck has been like much less popular as people try to figure out the best build. It is unlikely to be one of the more popular decks in the format going forward. Opponent's hand, just 1 card in hand. So it's not the shock. So like I would probably not register the Narset Days and Doing package in blue-white control right now, but I could like easily be wrong for that decision too, you know what I mean? Maybe standing this down. Yorion died for Wrenn and Six and Omnath sins. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Hey Spider, how's it going? I don't think that is a bad take to have. Although I will say this, like, the banning of Yorion was like a significant nerf to Omnath and like a small nerf to Wrenn and Six, where Omnath was a much more ridiculous card when you always had Yorion as a mana sink to, and then also like Omnath obviously gets flickered well by Yorion, but like just having that mana sink slash flicker always made Omnath much more absurd. And so playing with, and this is a matchup where I think you want to get rid of the Time Orbs. Playing with and against Omnath lately, the card has definitely not felt nearly as egregious as it once did, I feel. Yeah, no dice at the RCQ. It honestly felt really bad. Todd Anderson played the exact same list. Probably gonna go down like 2 Counterspell, 2 Fluster Storm. Todd Anderson played like the exact same list I did. His RCQ, and the whole time he's tweeting, it's easy breezy, Spike broke it, the deck's busted. And he got his invite, and I sit down, I get dredged, insanely dredged game 1, round 1. I beat Scam, and then I just, I lose to Hammer Time in a game where I really couldn't do very much, or a match where I couldn't do very much. I won game 2, and that's just my tournament, It just feels like I've had so many. I was playing the Red Green Breach deck. I feel like I've had so many RCQs like that where I feel really good, my prep's really good. Oh, okay. I sat down. My round 1 opponent, obviously not like no shade to my opponent or anything, but I sit down and my opponent goes, "Hey, don't you feel like you lose a lot of like advantage because people know what you're playing because you like tweet it out and stuff?" And I'm just like, "Yep, yeah, yeah." My round 1 opponent. Don't you feel like you lose a lot of advantage because people know what you're playing? Yeah. And I don't know. It's also like Modern is, a format where like if you play against linear decks, they draw super well. It's always been the case. You're just gonna get hammered sometimes. But I'm thinking about their Shadow of Doubt. I don't know. So the last RCQ I played, at this store, I didn't tell anybody what I was playing. And I lost in the finals. But like there was definitely like I really could actually like genuinely. It was a little different. It was a little different than some prior. Some prior experiences at these RCQs. I've had a lot of players, make informed mulligan decisions game 1 that end up being super relevant. Not that I feel like necessarily it was super relevant this time. Dave, 9 months, thank you. What do you think Shadow could do to help the matchup against the 4-color Rhinos domain style decks? 4-color Rhinos domain style decks. Interesting question. I might actually Binding here to play around Spell Pierce, although they didn't have Spell Pierce last turn. Yeah, we'll just Ending. I mean, obviously, like the more counter spells, more one mana counter spells are your best tools in those matchups. I tried out Domain Zoo with Leyline Binding. I didn't. I really think that deck's not that good, but I didn't. Maybe one day I did try to build the deck. I was mostly like somewhat interested in like a version that's playing like a lot of Stubborn Denials and Nishoba Brawler, and then like Nishoba Brawler with what do we do this turn? I might just play Omnath. It's just like my opponent can't drown. They don't have Delirium. Just play Omnath. The Shober Brawler with Stubborn Denial, and like also Gaia's Might on the Shober Brawler because it has Trample always seemed kind of sick. Maybe with Stubborn Denial to protect it, but I never could really find a list, or Nick could never put a list together that I was really jiving with, so I gave up, I guess. List that plays Ragavan, Brawler, Kavu, Draco, Stubborn Denial. I saw them, but I always feel like the like I don't know. I always felt like the ratio of like creatures to non-creatures was something I could like never. I never saw a list that I really liked their ratios, and I never really saw. I mean, so my opponent definitely has a burn spell. Just take the hit. BBO 2 months. Thank you. Play a Tarka Red. Yeah, Tarka Red looked pretty sick. Oh, dude, they hit Jace? Huh. They're so excited to hit Jace, they're casting it in their damage step. I don't know, there's just like so many games with Domain Zoo, like you just don't do anything on turn 1, And if you lose the die roll, it's like your deck just looks so bad because you just have nothing to do on turn 1, and you just saw the draw. Then you go turn 2, Kavu, and your opponent laughs at you, and then they like cascade into something, anything. 12 and 5 on the weekend, beating mono green 6 times. Matchup feels free. Yeah, I agree. I was watching you play it on stream, Doom. It looked pretty sick. I was thinking of playing some more of the creativity deck off stream, testing for the LCQs. Maybe I'll play some. I'll play some of that too. I'll commit to it. Okay, I'm really unlikely to cast 2 white spells here unless I find it Teferi, the Fun Raveler. Oh, nice. So we'll go hand, bottom, exile. This is dirty. Binding the Teferi, and if I can get rid of the binding, or the Jace, the Jace comes back to me. So if I draw a Teferi hero, I get to bounce the binding, and then return Jace to play under my control. And I also get to Chalice on 1 here. And I have a red ready to ultimate. Too bad you can't ending your own binding, though. If not Red Green Breach, have I seen the new teamer list that cuts Shredder for Wrenn and Six Oracle over Grape Shot? Yeah, I think you should be playing Grape Shot over Oracle in any Breach list. Just like you get Giganta, Grape Shot's a better card to draw. I have seen the teamer list. I play tested them some, and I just didn't like how high the curve was of the list. But I remember Spider Space's curve was like a little bit lower than. Oh, they had Kolagon's command. I remember Spider Space's curve was a little bit lower than what I had, and so I was kind of interested in it. I still don't figure out why Omnath didn't get the hammer instead of Yorion. Well, one kind of nice thing about banning Yorion instead, and again, I was also like in the honestly ban Omnath camp, but banning Yorion is a big nerf to Omnath. Oh boy. Hand, bottom, exile. We get to do the thing. Man, Ragavan sucks. Ragavan sucks. Officially bad card. Can't hold all of these prismatic endings. Should be wide? Yes, you can, Freya. I saw in Everos's chat that you lost 500,000 channel points on Gambas. So I feel like that's fine. You're a mod now, I think. Do you have the exclamation point mod? I think slash mod. Yeah. Let's see where they attack. Take me. Okay, I'll be not just binding. It doesn't really matter that much though. Yeah, that was my Jace that my opponent stole with Ragavan. Okay, 1-0. Obviously, one of our better matchups, Scripture Shadow. We're up against Obosh the Prey Piercer. So likely to be Ponza. I really like having a Force of Negation against Ponza. Oh, Ponza, red, mono red. Force of Negation against Blood Moon is really nice. Obviously, if they have Ragavan in this hand, can be pretty bad. We have a lot of top decks that answer Ragavan though, including that one. Spike playing 4-color grade on time. I mean, yeah, just welcome to twitch.tv/AspiringSpike, where I am always ahead on time. It's just my brand, I guess, being ahead on time. Okay, so we can get our island next turn. Get Force of Negation of Blood Moon this turn. Obviously, if they have Magus, it's kind of bad. I don't think I mind this Fable very much. I think I'm okay to just go like Teferi, bounce the token here. Get my island. Ooh, baby. Are the forces necessary? I think they're pretty. I think forces like circled around to being a pretty good card in the format. It's like really, really good against creativity. There's a decent amount of blue-white at the moment. There's a lot of Wrenn and Sixes that you really want to be able to force on the draw. It's a card I'm liking a lot right now, and it's also true. Like, you know, this is a more controlling shell. I think you want access to like 6 minimum counter spells, and you can't really play Archmage's Charm. Can't really play Spell Pierce. I mean, you can play Spell Pierce, just like scales so poorly into the late game. You don't really usually want that card in control. Iovine, 24 months, thank you. Have you considered 5-color Bring to Light? I've considered it. Obviously, like, you know, figuring out the best variant. Hold on. I think that's fine. Figuring out the best variant for 4-color is something that's just going to take some time. My biggest issue with the Bring to Light stuff is I've always found like having any number of dead draws in the... They discarded 2 Flame Slashes, so I think I'm going to jam the Omnath. Having any number of dead draws against like Murktide specifically always feels so gross. Just like, oh no, I drew my Valky and I'm just dead. But it could be something I could get behind. Love your content, sorry about the streamer turbo disadvantage. It's alright. I think that so like the last like 2 RCQs ago, or sorry, the last 2 RCQs I played, I just didn't tell people what I was playing, and I could like really feel could really feel the difference. Surprisingly, that it was like so easy to tell. Okay, hopefully my opponent attacks the Teferi and I just get to ultimate the Wrenn and Six. Perfect. No more basics to get, but I do definitely want to pick up a land since I want to have an extra time warp. Okay, so now we have a extra turn for each of our lands. Although I think I need to be playing out some lands here. Ooh, baby. Omnath is a dumb card. Okay, let's get our Omnath mana. Probably afford to shock. Iteration, looking for a land to put in the hands, so go hands. Bottom, exile. Play the fun Raveler, bounce the token, time warp ourselves. Pretty busted. It could attack, could Solitude the Fury. I think it's probably fine to not. We fizzled? What a ripoff. Could cast Iteration, look at one more card. I think I would probably prefer to just Solitude the Fury, ending the Reflection before their Fable flips, pass it back, have the Force up. Get the Spectre blocked in. Why not both Time Warps and guarantee you get the Emblem plus Wrenn in play? I didn't have 2 Time Warps in my hand when I emblemed the Wrenn. That was like several turns ago. I only had 1 Time Warp. Trolling the Deep, take with 12 months, thank you. I had to Time Warp to get to the Rimblem. I want to ending the enchantment, not the token. Ending the enchantment, not the token. There's not a token in play. Okay. Let's. I'm just gonna maybe ignore chat a little bit. Okay, this is fine. Do you remember my first stream? Yeah, of course. I was there. Okay, there's a Wrenn. So, excuse me, sorry, I don't know what, I think there's some coffee grounds at the bottom of my cup, I think. Okay, so my opponent probably will recognize this as an infinite turn combo. If they don't, that's okay. We'll just, take in for turns, right? Ralph, thank you for Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Maybe they're interested in getting some time off my clock. Okay, okay, up a game against Mono Red Obosh. Chalice seems worth bringing in. They obviously have a lot of 1-drops. Chris Down seems cuttable. Down to cut at least 1 Time Warp. Wear Tear to deal with Blood Moon. Also can kill a Fable for 1 mana. Is probably good enough to bring in at least the first copy. Verdict is probably good enough to bring in. Yeah, usually these like super fair, or like in these matchups, like just like last time, like when you have a better top end than your opponent, and it's not like the 4-color mirror, it's not like blue-white control. I'm usually pretty down to like cut the Time Warps. I think obviously they're like really sick that game, but maybe I want to be cutting the 4th Solitude, play 1 Chalice, 1 Time Warp. Is Chalice good in the meta? Not really. I think it's okay. It's not bad, but I don't think it's something you really want to be main decking. So even though this deck could main deck Chalice, I'm just like sideboarding a couple. Why aren't we playing Endurances? Endurance is just like not like, there's enough dredge that I'm just gonna be playing Relic instead of Endurance is my plan. I also don't have that many green cards, so like I only have 7 green cards. So like my plan to like pitch Endurance against dredge is gonna be not that consistent, and I keep losing to it, so I'm trying to hedge for it. Okay, we're on a mold of 6. We have a Wrenn and Six. I should probably go to 5. Yeah, it's just. Wrenn and Six is just so gross. I think Chalice might be a little slow here. Let's do this. Mill seems more popular than Dredge right now. I feel like I play against like an insane amount of Dredge has been my experience lately, but yeah, you can play Endurance instead. But again, we also like our green card count for Endurance is really low. Also, is another point. I think I probably have to just hold up the mana here, and then I can go Forest Plains and be able to ending a Blood Moon if they play one, although I probably need to use my mana and counterspell this. Okay. So yeah, so to play around Blood Moon the best, I'm going to... Oh no, sorry, you're supposed to get Hallowed Fountain? No, I can't get Hallowed Fountain there. Don't currently have Wrenn mana, but I obviously I feel like playing around Blood Moon is pretty worthwhile, and getting the planes is gonna like set me up to do that well. The Teferi Plus can bounce the moon this turn. No Breeding Pool, but yeah, I guess Breeding Pool is the better option. Yeah, definitely Breeding Pool. Okay. Although now we just get to go Wrenn and Six, pick up Flooded Strand, play Chalice on 1. They have Den of the Bugbear, which is a little annoying, but beatable. Was this a mold of 4 or is mold of 5, right? They discard Flame Slash, Bone Crusher Giant, so they probably didn't have another 1 in their hand. Yeah, mold of 5. Fury. Probably kills Wrenn and Six, yeah. Okay. Alright, let's iteration. Not a very good iteration. No real point in playing it out on 0 either, since they're obviously an Obosh deck. I think I'll just ending the Fable. Any reason not to, though? Not really. Is Stream Deck down? It probably is. It's down pretty often. Been trying to squeeze Mono Boss. Yeah, seems like a really good fit there. Bounce with Tef and play it later. Yeah, that's I guess a good enough reason. That's something. Why not instant speed pending? I guess like I guess instant speed pending is probably a bit more relevant, huh? Pillage my planes, not the Chalice, notably. They probably killed the Teferi, right? Yeah, okay. Omnath? Oh no, oh no! What have I become? Who am I? I'm sorry, chat. Into Leyline Binding? No! Oh, cool. Thankfully, I don't have domain. Okay. Oof. Oof. That was almost gross. Almost, yeah. Like, this was a pretty normal standard turn, actually. Alright, so we have to Solitude the Spyro to keep the Jace around, I think. Wait, I have another Omnath, right? No, I think I'm misremembering. It's Boseiju, then... Yeah, put back Heath, Boseiju. I think I still Brainstorm anyways. Okay. Hey, well, Jace right now, does your band do anything to better position in the modern format? I think Jace has been a little underplayed. I've been liking it a lot in like blue-white control specifically. This is like, this is blue-white control, splashing for Wrenn and iteration and Omnath, and especially with the time warps, I'm pretty interested in having access to some number of Jace. I think they're probably just going to send everything at me. Solitude is maybe like somewhat easy to read, but I feel like that's still just going to be them sending everything at me. I Solitude a Fury. Try to block a elemental token if I can, probably. Okay, so if I block an elemental token, I gain 3 up to 13, and then I take 10 down to 3. I can't die to Bolt because I have Chalice. And then, sorry, I need to, 6. They put Obosh in their hand. So my top of my library is Boseiju Counterspell, which is actually, like, not that bad here. Where the Boseiju can deal with the Den of the Bugbear, the Counterspell can deal with Obosh. Yeah, I think I'm not shuffling. Might have to draw something else. I didn't do... Yeah, now that they attack with both and they hit me with the Goblin token, I'm pretty boned. Ruin kills me? I mean, I'm at 3. Why not bounce my Solitude? If I bounce my Solitude, then don't I just die to Den? I guess not. Maybe bouncing Solitude is better. Oh yeah, I mean, I could also attack. Maybe like attack, bounce Solitude. That would have been... That was probably the better line, actually. Why can't I activate Jace twice a turn? Okay, let's go to game 3. I think I'm dead, right? Guess I'm not dead. I guess I just have to ending the Goblin token. I have to ending the Goblin token and keep either Boseiju or Counterspell. And I have to deduce, is my opponent more likely to Obosh, or are they more likely to Den? I think they're like more likely to Den here, so I'll keep up the Boseiju. So let's put back these two. Kihira, comrade. I don't know. Kihira couldn't have been the right line here, right? Maybe Kihira would have been much better if I could hold up the Boseiju, but I'm 1 mana short. I also don't have any more basics to fetch up the Heath. Luzco, 7 months. Thank you. They're 1 mana short of Double Den? Yeah. Am I doing any streaming tomorrow? I don't know. I was thinking about it this morning. So yeah, tomorrow, Magic Online is down for server migration. So if you want to get your fill for Aspiring Spike Magic content, today's the day. I was thinking about maybe doing, some variety streaming tomorrow. One thing is, like, I would like to maybe take another sponsor this month or this year, and doing the sponsorships with like lower stream numbers is always like pretty dicey. Okay, so I can't Boseiju now because they just get a mounted, then activate the other den and kill me. Yeah, but doing some variety streaming tomorrow would be fun. Kind of the problem though is it's like, the problem with variety streaming right now is I'm not playing any other games besides Magic really. I'm just playing Magic at the moment, so I don't know what I would do. Oh, then I'm gonna die to Raminap Ruins. Yeah. Okay, let's go next game. Some drafts on Arena. I would be really bored doing it. I don't know. Like I would have to buy Arena cards or Arena currency, and people wouldn't tune in for a limited stream anyways. But if I tried Overwatch 2, I haven't played Overwatch 1. Much less 2. Actually, we're gonna just play the Force Solitude. How long before Kihira Gigantic get banned? Good question. What is server migration? They're moving Magic Online to a new server, and this should, like, you know, in theory, enable them to deploy new features and, you know, stuff like that, I guess. Force, maybe Force to beat Blood Moon is pretty important this hand. I could see putting back a Binding. Why is Time Warp deck Wrenn Ult Loop? Yeah, it's also like really good with Omnath and Jace, but yeah, it's your top end of choice. Play the original Star Wars Battlefront. Man, me and my friends would like, we used to be a party and stuff, and we would always bust out Battlefront. It was a good time. Okay, I think we're probably gonna Binding the Ragavan, or if I draw a land, maybe if I drew a land, maybe I would go like Chalice this turn into Teferi Bounce next turn, but not drawing the land, we're just Binding that. Oh, Knights of the Republic would be fun. I really liked Everos's Knights of the Old Republic stream. Elden Ring easy, maybe. I mean, I haven't played Elden Ring since my first playthrough. Could be fun. Could be more fun to do something else. I'll think about it, and if I think of something fun to do for tomorrow, we'll do something fun tomorrow. Okay. I just want the Wrenn and Six, right? Yeah. Sadly. And then getting a basic off this Wrenn so I could get another basic to be able to... Or I guess I just have Wear Tear also for Blood Moon here, which is really nice. Although if I Chalice on one, I don't have Tear up any longer. They have Magus of the Moon here. Okay, so I guess I'm getting a Forest, so I can cast Wrenn and Six into Chalice, and then I have to draw Solitude. Just do Andy React content? Yeah, I'll just watch Amy's stream, react to her all day. Knights of the Republic 2. Yeah, I've actually never played Knights of the Old Republic 2. I've played the first one probably like 10 times as a kid, and I just never played the second one for some reason. I would be down though. One day. Maybe not tomorrow, right? But I did bring in the fourth Solitude again. Or back end, whatever. We can also maybe Chalice on 3 next turn, which is like pretty gross against their deck. Spike, no. What am I? Oh, no, I needed to double ping. I needed to double ping. Yeah. Fuck. Spike, no. Okay. Oh, and I can't... Oh, okay, so I can fuse Wear Tear after they attack with the treasure token if I want. I might just prefer to play Kihira this turn to protect the Wrenn, though. Doom versus Spike, webcam versus live. I think maybe Doom's doing his day job tomorrow. I don't know. I will say I don't usually like content for content's sake. You know what I mean? Like, oh no, I have to do something tomorrow because Magic Online is live. I'll do something if I could think of something fun to do. I don't know that would be something I'd enjoy necessarily. I feel like the webcam stuff always has hiccups and you can never really engage with chat. Doesn't sound like not fun though. Okay. The Den of the Bugbear is a big problem. Everything's a big problem here. I think I just pass. I have all instant speed stuff though. Do you play any COD? I used to play Call of Duty. I am a controller gamer though, not a mouse and keyboard gamer. I used to play a lot of Apex and PUBG, and then I used to play the old Call of Duties, the Modern Warfare 1 and 2. You can plug your controller in a PC? Yeah, but then you're up against all the mouse and keyboard players who are way better than you, you know. Why didn't I take Saga? What are you talking about? I think we binding this, then they attack, then fusing Wear Tear is back online. Although maybe I just even want the Blood Moon online because it's turning off their man lands. And I have all my colors. Like, what if I just Chalice on 3? Take 4. Like, how do they ever beat Chalice on 3? I guess they have Obosh in their hand, huh? In their deck, huh? Oh yeah, then the Wear Tear gets turned off. Okay, so we have to fuse. But I do think I have to kill. I can't kill the Blood Moon here. Obviously some of my cards are still turned off, like Jace, Counterspell. But I can't let their den be active here. We got some good top decks. Omnath, Iteration. I have other outs to Blood Moon later too, maybe, but we'll see what we draw. There's some bad top decks too. Okay, I'm gonna Chalice on 3. Turns off Teferi, but also turns off a pretty significant portion of their deck. The problem is the Obosh is probably just gonna beat me at this point. I have to draw Binding for it right now. Iteration to Binding would be pretty sick. Ending. I can Ending for 4. Not 5 because of the Blood Moon. So I think we just have to Ending the Goblin Shaman. Take 6. And if I draw Leyline Binding next turn, or Omnath gain 4, chump block, I guess. Now we might not have any outs. Oh yeah, dead to Stomp. Dead to Stomp, okay. Tough game. Obviously, I messed up on the Wrenn and Six ping. If I had pinged the turn earlier, we'd pretty likely to win, huh? Mono red looking kind of sick there. Look at this. His hand, pretty bad. I think on 6 on the draw we can keep, and need to draw fetch land. His hand's fine. So I'm going to play the Breeding Pool here, so that if I draw a non-fetch red land, I can Iteration on turn 3. Deck for cost, can we post a link in the chat? I can take a look. We're against Creativity. Force is definitely really nice to have against Creativity. I'm going to let this resolve, and I can just Ending it. Metamorph combo. Okay, now I have to figure out what in the world is a Metamorph combo. Finks, 50 months, thank you, appreciate you. Okay, so you Relic Order your own Metamorph. Relic Order Metamorph. Then how do you get the Metamorph to Okay, there's a primer done here. Okay. Metamorph, copying Archon of Cruelty. Okay. The combo. Relic Warder. Okay. Cast Metamorph, copying Warder, Metamorph, exile self artifact. It'll immediately re-enter. Cast Metamorph. Oh, you target itself. I see. Wait, does that actually work? I'm sure it does, or I would hope it does. Hold on, let me see what we draw here. Land. Red land. Yeah. Okay, so Metamorph, copy Relic Warder, infinite ETBs, so infinite life, Luminarch Veteran, which is tutorable with Ranger Captain. And then you also have Altar of the Brood. Okay. Interesting combo. Kind of having a hard time wrapping my head around the list. One thing I'm kind of surprised is that we're not like a little bit more in on artifact synergies here, like playing 4 Esper Sentinel seems like a really nice inclusion. You could maybe play also the 2-mana 1/1 that looks at the top 4, finds an artifact, and then you could also play Portable Hole. You might not be at quite enough artifacts right away for that. Although Aether Vial also seems really good in this deck. We get iced. It's never drawing a land ever. Could we just play fewer copies of Lunarch Veteran? Yeah, I think like one Lunarch Veteran and just like either tutor your Altar the Brood or your 1 Veteran. And that's like, you know, good enough. Oh, you also have it's also a debt if you flip the Veteran, that's lethal, right? With the combo, it's kind of cool. This leaves the battlefield, right? Yeah, okay, that's kind of cool. But yeah, I think just 1 as a tutor target to like maintain card quality seems nice. And so like I think like the easy thing would to be like just go -2 Veteran. Okay, maybe not as easy as I thought. So I'm really thinking about this. The list seems pretty tough. Okay, okay. I think the blue splash for 8. I don't like this. How many blue sources you're playing? I don't like 3 Hallowed Fountains. You can play 1 Fountain to occasionally cast Metamorph, but I think being really just a mono white deck is the direction I would recommend. They have double Spell Pierce. Brutal. No, I don't think Electrostatic Pummeler could be playable modern. Okay, bring in the Flusterstorms, the Moonlights, probably the Dress Down, but I'm gonna cut the endings. Time Warp 3. Can bring in the Moon. Moon's okay. Maybe I leave in all the Time Warps. Maybe this is just the sideboard plan. Kind of like it. I don't think we want the second Dress Down necessarily. Second Dress Down's maybe okay though. I think you just want 1. You just really never want to draw 2. Okay, I'm pretty stuck on the list. Okay, I feel like maybe you have. Okay, I don't like the other Spell Bomb. I want to go down to 1 Lunarch Veteran. I kind of want to go up to 4 Ephemerates also. Although maybe that's just not good enough. Maybe it's like you have Ranger Captain, Stoneforge Salt. Yeah, it's good enough. Oh, you do have portable holes. Okay. I just totally missed that there are portable holes in here. You could probably go down to 4 to go down to 22 lands, 1 Veteran, no Aether Spellbomb, 4 Aether Vials. You have to make 1 more cut. If you want to play the 4th Ephemerate, which I think you do. But I do think you want to play Aether Vial on this list. Okay, we'll keep this hand. What a tough deck to work on. Very interesting list. So the blue also has a sideboard splash for Lavinia and Spell Pierce. I feel like you could pretty easily play like Magistrates over Lavinia. Just stay mono white. I don't feel like the one, like, you know, I think Hallowed Moonlight is really good. I don't feel like the blue splash is very easy with the Urza Sagas, and I think just like one Hallowed Fountain as a maybe just like be completely mono white, just like get rid of the fetch lands and just be okay with like always paying 2 for Metamorph unless you have, you know, I guess Springleaf Drum lets you not pay. Okay, so I'm pretty likely to iteration this turn, since like next turn I need to start holding up the counter spells. Okay, if this gets spell pierced, it does get spell pierced. And then I think I'm just gonna Incept Flusterstorm here. Legend Rule Boseiju. So they're doing, oh, okay. I was thinking they were doing that to hold up Veil of Summer for a Wrenn and Six. Just gonna cast the Fable. Okay, well I couldn't do this unless they Legend Ruled, but I can just go Jace minus on the token now. What a weird game. What is the transfer in the card package? Decks that use it. I mean, it's like good against like Cascade, Hammer Time, Murktide. Life Splash, 12 months. Thank you. Is there any sticker set for like Recruiters both have the combo? Recruiter is really slow, but yeah, you could maybe play Recruiter. Ooh, Prismatic Command's pretty brutal. Discard 2 Archons though. Could Boseiju this. Can Boseiju it later too. Because the flip side is always an enchantment. Okay, let's go. Hand Leyline Binding. Oh no, I can't. I don't have another. I have to fetch to play the Wrenn. Okay, so let's go. I guess we'll do Hand Wrenn, bottom Counterspell, Exile Binding. Get a Sacred Foundry here. Then we can go Binding on Fable, hold up Counterspell. Then we can start getting Wrenn down next turn. When is Merfolk play happening? Anytime. Thank you for the 1 year. Life Splash. Any day. 4 cards in opponent's hand. Not a very relevant top deck. Blue-green. I'm going to Boseiju my Binding? Counter unless I pay 2. Alright, I'll pay 2. Get Fountain off the Heath. Or Island off the Strand. If they have, you know, land plus Spell Pierce next turn, good beats, I guess. Am I playing in a prelim? I don't usually play prelims on stream. They're especially during the week. Like one, I usually just have as many play points as I could need, and fuck. Maybe I let this go. They're really likely to have another Spell Pierce. Fatal Summers. No, I need to counter this. I need to try to counter it. Any RCQ plans this weekend? We'll see. I don't know. Like the RCQ is like pretty far away from me, and I got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, they also get to recur the Boseiju. That's a good point. The Force beats Pierce. I don't have a blue card to pitch to Force. A lot of lands, kind of classic mana screw into mana flood, 2 games in a row. What's the benefit of prelim? You get a lot of qualifier points. I usually have enough qualifier points though, but they're, you know, pretty bad tempo for the stream, so I don't usually play them on stream. Kihira, I feel like being able to pay for Spell Pierce on Force is like way more relevant than Kihira here. Maybe that's not true. The counterspell I just cast. Oh, you wanted to force pitch counterspell there? I feel like that line is really bad. We're just so low in resources. Okay, I do feel like I have to cure now. Maybe I was supposed to cure last turn, huh? Can I take 3? I could probably take 3. It's dicey, I guess. They might attack the Wrenn. I don't know if I need to hold the Boseiju. I can get. I have one more basic I can get off this though. Okay, probably more relevant to be able to pay for Spell Pierce Fluster Storm than to counter the ice just to trade 1 for 1. Pings me so fast. I've never seen anybody just ping someone that quickly before. We've only done that against Crater Rupus Pierce. I see. So this, yeah, could definitely be Hardcast Archon. Creativity X equals 1, dude. X equals 1. So they must have another. That ice stops me from having this force up. Brutal game. Brutal game. We're at 1. We have some crazy series of draws to get us out of this, but that is not it. Rough game, you know, mana screw, mana flood. We do. I can't cast any of these iterations. I think I should mulligan. Wrenn and Six just mulligan so well. We go to 5. When it's also on a mold to 6. They keep 6 though. Okay, let's put back. I think ending counterspell, just be in on the bindings here. Orvar sucks. Now you only want to play Orvar if like your color combo like doesn't have access to like more versatile sideboard cards. So like Red Green Breach doesn't have access to counterspells. You could splash for them, but not easily. Doesn't have access to Hallowed Moonlight. Doesn't have access to any good answer to creativity. So like Orvar being a good answer to creativity is why I like it there. This is a deck with like that wants more versatile sideboard cards, I think. Where did I get my Demonic Tutor print? From my local game store. Basic Island into turn. Prismatic Vista. They have Blood Moon deck? Chalice. Awesome. Okay. Our deck is immune to Chalice. Or, you know, it stops ending on 1. Yeah, Orvar and Bant Ephemerate makes some sense, yeah, because you can, like, just cast it and it's okay. But it's also, like, probably a little bit of a trap. Basic Mountain. Into Fable the Mirror Breaker. Okay. So we can Fable the token here, or Binding the token, and then try to draw a land and bounce our Binding back to our hand. Opponent's on some kind of brew, obviously. Probably playing Blood Moon. Love to draw the land there. Recoup some of this card disadvantage from the Mold of 5. Saheeli combo? I mean, I just don't know how, like, it's so hard to put my opponent on any deck right now. I don't feel like maybe. Are you playing its Mono Fable? Is the card that good? Fable's a really good card, but you have to have like a lot of synergy with it to play it in your mono deck. But it is a really good card, yeah. There's the Blood Moon. So hopefully the Teferi could just maybe just stay and play and bounce it in 2 turns, 3 turns. Kind of an ambitious thought. So many Blood Moons of Modern. Alright, they've got the Reflection. Yeah, probably gonna just be Plains or bust. Maybe if we draw a Solitude, we get to buy like a lot of turns. Three-color Blood Moon deck, 4 mana stress healthy. It's always so funny to me when people make comments like this. Like, you see like a random pile that you've never seen before, and you make judgments about on a format for some like goofy brew that it may even just be completely terrible. You know what I mean? But also, like, 3-color Blood Moon decks have existed in Modern forever, and they've basically never been good. But people have played just Gaia Grixis Blood Moon decks for forever. But yeah, but I just, it's always so weird when you just see like a random brew, a random pile, and then you're like, man, format is unhealthy. It's almost as if people will just be like, man, Modern is so unhealthy right now, no matter what is happening. Okay, let me cut the dress down. I think I just want to go up to where Terra cut 1 time warp. 1 dress down, see what's going on. PDE, so months has Blood Moon become super prevalent. It's become a lot more popular lately, yeah, after being unpopular for a while. How's the format felt now? Full of 60 card decks? Paper tournaments will be going faster. My RCQ rounds, nobody drew. Blood Moon main and Assault Loam, interesting. That is interesting. Blood Moon and Loam. Just kind of like it. That's like the first time I've like been interested in playing the Assault Loam decks. Just like main decking Blood Moon sounds actually really sick there. All right, let's have a 5-card Wrenn and Six hand with a fetch land. I believe I said. Damn it. I think I just have to bank on drawing a fetch. Time Warp is a combo with the Wrenn and Six Ultimate, and then like the Time Warp gets you to the Wrenn and Six Ultimate a bit easier. Having to get basic forest makes Seismic Assault a bit awkward. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true, huh? Yeah, you could main deck Chalice. I'm just not sure how good main deck Chalice is at the moment. Everything in Modern's a bit weird at the moment. Definitely not forcing that. Spreading Seas plus Blood Moon combo. No fetch land. Am I not checking Decklist today? Oh, are the channel point options just down? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I guess I just need to make a new option. But they're enabled, and for some reason last week, like nobody could redeem them. I guess I just have to make it again. The Arsa Healy combo, man, healthy format, huh? Healthy format. Maybe I think I'm just gonna try to draw a fetch and Prismatic Ending this. I'm just like obviously so low on resources. Alright, so let's see if this is live now. Well, that's a castable spell. Game. Banterek. Okay, I don't know how many times I have to say this. If you are going to jump through the hoops to enable domain for your Leyline Bindings, something that is not free and is like somewhat costly to your mana base, as you know, we're even seeing this game. And the payoff for getting to play Leyline Binding is getting access to one of, if not like the most powerful. If they have Flusterstorm, we can't even force back, but we can beat a Spell Pierce. Or Dispute. You get access to like one of, if not like the most powerful formidable spells in the format. I just don't know why I keep seeing so many deck lists with only 3 binding. Binding is just the best card. it's just the best one, you know. All right, come on, fetch land, please. Some rough draws these last couple of matches. The 4th is on the board. It should be in the main deck. This is not a card. This is not a if binding is nuts. It's so insane. It's just so absurd. It's the best removal spell in the format. If you jump through the hoops to enable it, if you're jumping through the hoops to enable it, you should always play 4. Or like I have yet to see an instance in a deck that like is not interested in playing 4 in the main deck. It's just so absurd. It's better than Prismatic Ending. It's better than any other removal spell you could possibly play. You should also play 4 Wrenn and Six in all of your Reclamation decks. Something I've kind of a conclusion I've come to lately. Was binding a mistake? I don't know if I'm necessarily saying that, but it's really nuts. Okay, I'm just gonna be off this game. Just can't draw hands with lands today. Although this hand's obviously, you know, one of those build to 5s or Wrenn can bail you out. I don't think Hearse is a card that makes a ton of sense in your sideboard because you just can't crew it ever. Okay, so we're gonna get Sacred Foundry Forest, maybe? It's close. It's kind of a lot of these thoughts. But yeah, I'd be on like 4 Endurance before the first Hearse in that deck. Although if you're scared about Dredge, you can play something else. A lot of people liken binding to Portable Hole in the sense that when it's bounced, it's returned the permanent causing ETPs, etc. Don't get me wrong, it's good. It's not the removal everyone desires. Binding is the best. I think Binding is the best removal spell in Modern. I think it's the best removal spell in Modern. Obviously, it is not infallible. It is weak to some cards, but it just doesn't get bounced by enough for me to like really even. I don't know. It's just the best one. I think it's just like almost even clearly the best one, and like but here's like the big thing though. If every deck is a Blood Moon deck. If you're going but we just have Boseiju now. Okay, maybe we'll just pick this up and pass back. If you're going to jump through the hoops of getting access to binding, you should play 4. You know what I mean? Like that's my big point. I see everybody playing 3, but if you're gonna jump through the hoops of getting access to binding via domain, you should like, you know, maximize that payoff. Every deck is a Blood Moon Fable pile. Yeah, red's just the best color in the format for sure. Okay, let's get a Plains, and then I think I'm going to Boseiju the Fable right now. Just ramp them infinite, just down before they attack. Deck tech for pocket beers. Okay, someone refund the I need to set the cooldown on the deck tech. Get a mod refund the channel point deck tech. Sorry, I just can't let the infinite channel point deck text queue. Wait, this already says it's 30 minutes. Oh, sorry, this is the other one. Oh no, I deleted. No, hold on. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I accidentally deleted the other one. Cool down 30 minutes. Okay. Hopefully they can answer the Wrenn. Oh wait, this is. Do I want to play the Zagoth Triome so I have domain? I get it untapped right now. I think with the Jace in hand, that's fine. Anton, 4 months. So they're playing Fable in the Boros Stoneblade deck. Interesting. Should 4-color play Binding for 2 or try to fit black so they can pay it for 1? I mean, just looking at my deck list should answer that question for you, right? Where I'm currently playing a 4-color deck where I'm choosing to fit it in. I think I'm going to Solitude the Germ token here. Right? Like I'm playing the deck right now where I'm playing a black Triome so I can Binding for 1. But yeah, it's just like 1 black Triome doesn't cost you that much, and being able to double spell with 1 mana bindings is absolutely worth it. Yeah, I know even for 2 it's good, but like it just doesn't cost you almost anything to be able to play it for 1. Well, the Jace minuses today. Too bad we don't have 1 more blue source. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I've seen the I was watching my Greasefang deck on YouTube. Okay, actually I'm confused. You're watching my Greasefang deck on YouTube. Oh, you're talking about the modern version. They drew a haste creature? That's so bad for me. At least I can counter it next turn. It's like unreal bad though. Yeah, oh, and then they hit Teferi. Some bad beats today, huh? So now I can't counter the the stupid Ragorin on the way down. Okay, Boseiju the Sophie. They bounce the Cauldron back to their hand. Guess I can ping the Teferi too, maybe. Arma, thank you for the 12 months. Appreciate you. They could have just equipped Cauldron, but they don't get the sword hit. Okay, that's a really good draw. So I have to ping this so I have the instant speed interaction up. That'd be Anniversary Arm. Put up also maybe is running low on Boseiju fetchables. Oh wait, hold on. My opponent's playing a Boros Blood Moon deck with 3 basic mountains. I'm very confused why they wouldn't just want more plains. That's really weird. Started turn with 0 cards, now 6. Yeah, how do they have 6 cards? It's Ragorin, Cauldron, Drift the Canyon, Drift the Sophie. I think I probably let them sink the mana into an equip. We can Boseiju the sword. In theory. Tony, 22 months, thank you. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, it really looks like they took the red-white list I was playing, and they cut the Ranger Captains for Fable, and they cut the Plains for Mountains. Which doesn't make sense, because Ranger Captain's just so sick in that list, but whatever. Not everything needs to make sense, you know. Could hold the Counterspell. I could Binding the Cauldron, Boseiju the sword. Okay, I'm gonna Boseiju the sword. I just want to see if they have any more fetchables. I'm not sure. They obviously changed the mana base a lot. Okay, they have 4 mountains, which I don't understand. I also haven't seen a single white card. I guess maybe they're like mostly they're playing Stoneforge Mystic. I'm just so lost. Okay, Teferi be a great draw also to pick up this other Binding. They attack the Wrenns. They must have a Bolt or something. So maybe I'm supposed to Heat. They're playing Heat? Everything is so weird this game. Alright, I'll just Binding now because of Ephemerate, I guess. Just so lost. Yeah, they had Delirium, so they could have just heated the Wrenn. Yeah, they didn't need to attack it. They have so much gas still in hand. Alright, need some crazy top decks. Yeah, this format is so fucked, I think is maybe a pretty good new meme. Thoughts on the first bolt over the fourth Prismatic Ending? I would prefer to have just like all white cards early, where like all of a sudden I have to think about, oh, I have one lightning bolt in my deck, and like I need to like think about fetching early for it. Although I guess if it's not in your hand, maybe it's not as relevant, right? Or not very relevant. But I think it's just a bit cleaner to like have all your removal be like 1 mana white spells when you think about the mana base. But also, I'll say this, like the debating the merits of like the 1 mana, your removal split is always like a pretty boring conversation, to be honest. It like just doesn't really matter that much, and it's always so hard to have like productive conversations about like these like 1 mana removal spell splits. Because it's just so hard to like meaningfully argue for anything, if that makes sense. Okay, I think let's take a dress down. This feels like a matchup to cut the Time Warps in. I really want to leave these forces in for the Blood Moons, but maybe we could cut one. I just thought Bolts is another win confidence 6 emblem. That's not a good enough reason to play it. Let's cut a Counterspell. No Witness. No, that's a pretty different build. Like, to play Witness, you have to play Ephemerate. To play Ephemerate, you have to play, like, 13, 14 creatures that work with it. So all of a sudden, if you're playing, like, 2, 3 Witness, then that you still need to play, like, 3 or 4 more creatures, and you need to play 4 Ephemerates. So it's, like, that's, like, 9 or 10 cards different from this. So it's not as simple as just no Witness, you know? It's just a very different build. Just 4 Omnath and 75. Don't I always want one? It can be pretty bad to draw 2 copies of Omnath in the early game because it's a 4 mana spell. I know. I'm playing 5 4 mana value cards in my 60 card deck, and it's always very easy to watch a game where the streamer gets mana. Ooh, they are playing Channeler. Wait, how did they add Channeler to the deck and cut Ranger Captain, or presuming they could cut Ranger Captain? Yeah, but it's always very easy to watch a streamer get mana screwed and be like, we don't want more 4-drops, you know? You don't want more 4-drops in the deck? What's going on? Okay, grabbing a Cauldra. I guess I just double ping. Yeah, Ranger Captain is definitely one of the best cards. Playing Channeler Bauble is interesting, but like to facilitate this, they definitely cut the. It seems that they definitely cut the Ranger Captains, which I don't think is good. Correct, whatever. It seems so good, better than Jace in my opinion. Well, they're both legendary creatures, so obviously they have also diminishing returns, and we're talking about splits of Omnath, Jace, whatever. It is also true that like in the Time Warp deck, like having access to these Jaces is really nice. But yeah, you could play a 4th Omnath. How about we can turn and go? Not very well. Following you post link in chat, I can take a look. Modern Shamans, very cool. It was really rough where like I had a lot of people like tagging me on Twitter saying they were doing so well with the green-red breach deck. I was doing really well with it on stream, and I just like I sit down for my tournament. My opponent goes, "Hey, don't you think it's a big disadvantage that your opponents know what deck you're on when you play these tournaments. That's the first thing he says to me. And I'm like, yep. And then he demolishes me with Dredge. Absolutely just stomps me. Then I beat Scam. Then I lose to Hammer Time in a game where I just didn't feel like I could really do much. Yeah, I had a good run at the SCG, but yeah. But just these RCQs, dude. Average 20 months, King Zeke 10, Ploki with the Twitch Prime, and then Fallen. If you could post a link in the chat, I'll take a look. Okay, so they're gonna probably put in Batterskull. I can wear tear the Batterskull. End of turn. Then have Binding plus Counterspell up. Do you think? No, I don't really think that that match would have really gone too very differently. Oh no, yeah. So like one thing is like if I knew what my opponent was playing, I think I probably would have won game one because I would have been able to like, it was like a really unique hand where I would have been able to, or sorry, if I won the die roll, I definitely win with like a fast Saga Shadow Spear, but it was also like a really unique hand where I may have been able to go like turn one Saga into like Ragavan double Box Amber, make a Saga token on turn 2 into Shadow Spear, which is like not something you'd want to do in like any matchup besides one where like Shadow Spear on Saga token is the only thing that matters game one. But as far as my opponent knowing my deck list, I don't really think it mattered that game. But it is also true, like, you know, I say this with complete humility. Like whenever I play in one of these local tournaments, just like all of my opponents know exactly what I'm playing. Or, you know, the majority of them, which is just, you know, really tough for these, like, small local tournaments. Okay, let's counter this. Double Den is also kind of tough. I think I'm very unlikely to need to Force of Negation and Dress Down, so I'll just put Kihira in my hand. Burning Tree. Alright, so this looks very similar to like Caleb's lists. I don't really like this Mutavault very much. You're a deck that's playing Wrenn and Six, Goblin and Narcomancer, Burning Tree Emissary. I don't think you can really afford these colorless lands very easily. I would also be pretty interested in playing no Cavern of Souls. No Cavern of Souls, no Mutavault. Just playing a fetch land, channel land mana base, and playing like 2 or 3 Wrenn and Six. Wrenn and Six is something that seems like obviously good to hit your land drops for Collected Company. Good to ultimate, obviously. Just I mean it's Wrenn and Six. What do I have to say? But like getting up to like 2 or 3 like is pretty doable if you go down on land. So maybe like 21 lands, 3 Wrenn and Six. You could maybe even do 20 lands, 3 Wrenn and Six with 4 Hierarch. It's close. I think I'd like to see like 21 lands or 20 lands, 3 Wrenn and Six, and 3 Lightning Bolt, 4 Season Pyromancer in the main deck, and then a mana base that is oh, you're already playing 10 fetch lands, so you could just cut the Mutavault, cut the Caverns. With 10 fetch lands, you may be even able to get away with like Copperline Gorge instead. That might be the best card to be playing. They do have Delirium here, but we would have the Wrenn and Six. Ooh. Finally drew an iteration, huh? As far as the sideboard goes, I had the classic 4-drop in the sideboard for the grindy matchups, but your deck is already pretty grindy. I don't think that's something I would not play the Chandra. I would definitely be playing like 2 or 3 Run Afoul on the sideboard, probably 2, but Run Afoul to deal with Murktide Regent seems like a big concern for me with this list. Is something I would be certainly really interested in. Okay, hand, bottom, exile into, I think just Wrenn and Six. Bit concerned about Den of the Bugbear, but I think I need to hold up the Hardcast Force. Okay, so we have Wear Tear for that. Yeah, I would be cut the Dismember, cut the Chandra, play 2 Run Afoul. This is a deck that I might be interested in Force of Vigor over Ancient Grudge, so maybe cutting the Furies even, playing like 4 Force of Vigor could be like better, where like Fury comes in against like Hammer Time Yawgmoth specifically. But it's like, you know, this one's much better against a Force is much better against Hammer Time, and it's kind of hard for you to leave up mana because your deck is like playing all at sorcery speed, you know. The Weather the Storms also are probably not. Burn seems to be on a big downswing, especially with the Yoran ban. So you could do something like cut the Weather Storms for Force of Vigors, cut the Dismember Chandra for Run Afoul, something like that. Okay, those are my thoughts. Okay. I think we're still going to iteration first. Okay, so we'll go hand ending, bottom counterspell, exile ending. Ending the Stoneforge Mystic, play Teferi plus Teferi, and have instant speed ending up for the Ragavan. Oh, sorry, it was way better to play. Oh, no, so we know there are less cards Ragavan. I guess they could have cracked the Sunbay Canyon and tried to find Ephemerate, though. Yeah, I tried to mess around with Harmonic Prodigy and Micromancer. I just don't really think it works. So I can bounce the token. They were definitely just supposed to dash first. They weren't supposed to play the Fable because they could have found something. Okay, so yeah, can we refund that deck tech? I think that I just set the cooldown timer. Just refund that one, and then the cooldown should be on now. And if it's not on, we'll address it. But the cooldown really needs to be on. Yeah, I guess we can Kihira here instead of like playing Teferi, plusing Teferi to have the instant speed verdict up. And if a mod could like say when you've refunded the Trina point one. What's the weirdest card someone has asked me to sign? I signed a really pretty. It's not weird, but like for whatever reason, the card that's coming to my mind is like the really nice Rocco, the gold etched. I'd never seen it before, but it was like a really pretty Rocco, and it was obviously from the Rocco brew from a little while ago. But it was one I was pretty surprised to see. I've also been asked to sign my least favorite card, Creeping Chill, a few times. I've signed a couple playsets of my despised Creeping Chill. Thanks, Scream. Yeah, but the foil it was like foil with like gold like weaved into it. It was like one of the prettiest cards I've ever seen. It was really, really nice looking. Any Clothless autographs? Yeah, I've signed a few Clothlesses. I love to sign Jade Avengers. Every time someone wants me to sign a Jade Avenger, I get very excited. Signed a bunch of them this last or 2 weekends ago. Is it possible to beat Dredge on the play with Burn? If it's a sideboard game, you have Rest in Peace. I mean, yeah, yes, you can beat them if they like mull to 4, and you have like a really good draw. I mean, this Teferi just doesn't matter that much. I'm surprised they're heating this instead. They must have another like heat for the Wrenn, so I'm gonna try to save the Force for that. Yeah. Only one fetchable left, but we get to Rimblum. I did side up the Time Warps. Notably, none of the cards in my graveyard currently answer Den of the Bugbear, but a Rimblum's a Rimblum. Okay. I think I have all my fetchables in play. I fetched with the Heath just now, and the Breeding Pool was the only thing. I think Heath finds every land in the deck besides... Steam Vents, which is already in play. That means I think gaining 4 life is good enough for me here. Oh, there is still a Stomping Ground. Sorry, I should have played the Misty. No, wait, no. I fetched. I fetched with the Heath. I thought I didn't see Stomping Ground available. I must be misremembering. With Counterspell top deck, you could wait even one more turn. I can't. There are Den of the Bugbears over there. Can't wait. The only way I could deal with Den is like actually Boseiju, because I know I'm on Ending Binding. Oh, so I have Solitude. I have Solitudes, obviously. Sorry, this is better in the hand. Okay, and then let's make sure I do have the Stomping Ground still in the deck. If so, I can just cast the Jace off that. I guess I'm not leaving up Counterspell like this, so I can just plus on them. Young PZs, 9 months, thank you. Welcome back. Alright, pack it in. I think I like my sideboard plan. Let's go to game 2. I hope they do an alternate art form iteration. I do too. You know, I'll say this. Like, I really think that Wizards had no idea how powerful iteration would be, and if they did, they would have definitely made it a Mystical Archive. Because they made Abundant Harvest a Mystical Archive, thinking that it was going to be this, like, I have to keep. His hand's so cold to Ragavan, I know. We have a lot of answers to Ragavan, though. They made Harvest a Mystical Archive. They would have definitely made Iteration if they knew. DRC, not Ragavan. Cool. The Expressive is an Nephilim promo that maybe they knew. When did they make it a Nephilim promo, though? If they made it, like, really quickly, then yeah, they knew. Harvest was new. Right. Well, I mean, so was Iteration. Yeah, so was Iteration, though. Okay, Wrenn and Six would be nice. Get a Raugrin Triome, I think. It's not a bad draw. Yeah, if you put Sprawl on like a Stomping Ground, you do have to the Sprawl gets sacked when you Blood Moon. Pretty funny they didn't realize 2 mana sort of draw 2 of 3 cards is busted. Yeah, I mean, cards like Night's Whisper, Sign of Blood, like, you know, you can draw 2 cards for 2 mana, like, and it's never really been like all that effective, but iteration, like the selection matters a lot, and you're doing so like in blue red. I don't know, it's very good. It's a very good card. Alright, let's counterspell this. I remember like I was playing Iteration like a lot in Prowess and like Murktide when it first came out, and like very slowly I'm like putting it in decks with higher and higher mana curves, and then eventually I'm just like, I think if you're playing a blue and red deck, you should be playing Expressive Iteration. These are the new requirements, a deck with blue and red mana. Let's get the Surveil trigger first. We're pitching Iteration, Counterspell, Omnath. I think I pitched the Counterspell. Always Exile pretty nice, not giving them the Delirium. Next turn's gonna be kind of interesting between just jamming Omnath. Okay, let's Iteration. If we find an Ending or Binding, we can go Zagoth Triome and cast that. Then maybe set up for Omnath plus fetch land next turn. Well, weird. I really want to play the Zagoth Triome this turn, because this gives me the ability to cast Omnath and also like 1 mana, you know, domain. So I guess I'm just gonna go hand, bottom, exile, play this tapped, pass. You can shock and pay 2 mana. I know, but if I shock, I have no green mana to cast Omnath next turn, so I don't get a landfall trigger off Omnath. This is a problem. Because I revealed exactly 3 Jeskai shock lands. My iteration was all 3 Jeskai shock lands. If one of them was green, then I can shock there. You know, and also like losing 2 life is awkward too. Yeah, but like even if one of them was like a green shock land, it's like a conversation. It's such like a weird iteration. The iteration sucks. What are we talking about? The card's so bad. Oh right, I didn't even have. Sorry, yeah, you're right. If it was green, it would have been 2, but the Jeskai ones would have actually been 3. Binding does cost more after Blood Moon, yeah, but it's actually Binding is a way better answer to Blood Moon than like you really think, where they're heating their own Ragavan for Delirium, which I'm really happy with because I have Omnath in my hand. Maybe they have 2 heats. They do get Delirium after the heat resolves for sure. If their last card is if their hand was 2 heats, then kind of boned. They should ban iteration, unban Brainstorm. Brainstorm's not banned, it's just not in the legal card pool. Also, but you're like crazy if you think it is a wild thing to feel like Brainstorm would be like a positive addition. They did have 2 heats. Yeah, I guess maybe that makes a lot of sense with them heating the Ragavan. Very good hand for them here. We might have to pitch. They put a card on top too. Because if I don't pitch, I go down to 2. I'm dead to like a lot of things, and hardcasting Solitude will work next turn, I guess, if I draw a white card. Am I supposed to Solitude here instead of Omnath? Maybe. Probably not. But maybe. It was definitely better against them having another heat. I guess it was readable. Maybe we were supposed to just like play Boseiju, hardcast Solitude. They put a card in the yard. So is it better to Boseiju the Fable now? I think it's better to Kihira. Yeah, sorcery speed to deny Surveil. I know they kept a card on top, so it's like pretty likely to be something like Fable. Just to get 1 less Surveil. Okay. Not quite dead. I guess I can hold this. You go down to 1 life, really just need to draw Omnath, I guess. What's that by armor? Good to Teferi Omnath. It's really good with Wrenn and Six, you take infinite turns with it, but yeah, it's also good with Jace Omnath. Very good with Omnath specifically. Yellow hat. Yellow hat. Thank you for the raid gap. Hope you're having a good day today. We're currently fighting for our life in Blood Moon, the format. I think almost all of our opponents today have had Blood Moon. Trying to mess around with 4 color. And the 32-month resub, thank you. Trying to manifest an Omnath to the top of my library. So they probably have a spell if they're tanking here. I don't know how you don't just jam a spell here, but we'll see. Oh, okay. Bummer. Dude, Blood Moon's been so popular. Yeah, Fury. I guess Fury would be a good guess. Let's pivot to a different deck today. I've got a pretty interesting one queued up. It's also kind of soft to Blood Moon though. I was hoping to save this for tomorrow, but let's bust it out today. Let me return.